the mentality that he has, he is
Yeah.
really childish,
Right.
immature. But
Right.
you can't have a conversation with somebody and they disagree with you. And if they disagree with you, you automatically get some feelings behind it. That sounds like kid shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Welcome to Mended Men's Conversation, life lessons and legacies, where real men have real conversations. In every episode, we dive deep into the struggles, victories, and lessons that shape us as men. From mental health and fatherhood to faith, identity, and purpose, we are breaking the silence and starting the conversations that matter. Between us is over 12 years of professional experience and more than 140 years of combined life experience as fathers, sons, brothers, husbands, friends, and educators. We know that healing starts with an honest dialogue. So let's get real. Let's get ready. Let's grow together. This is Mended Men's Conversation.
Good day, good day, good day. How's everybody today? How are you, Mr. Anthony? This is
I'm good.
Mended Men Conversations. My name is Titus Garnett, and we
And I'm
are
Anthony
here.
Washington.
You know what? Anthony is I'm really so blessed to have someone partner with me in this program like Anthony Washington. He is a unique character. It just warms the cockles of my soul to know that he's there for only an hour. Thank you, Lord. Anyway, so as we continue, this is not a therapy session. You know, and one of the things, I see other podcasts and I see other people, this, that, and they're very specific. We are, as I would say, we're down to earth. We're like that barbershop conversation. We don't need to quote chapter and verse on everything because we just having a conversation. Yeah, like in that barbershop, you're not going to whip out a dictionary. You're going to not whip out the latest article
Newspaper.
in the newspaper. Right. So we just talking about stuff and how we see it. And today we're going to talk about the what is our role? How do we fit into, or what do we see, or how do we deal with, as Black men, what's going on in our society today? What's going on in this country? And now we have to stop looking at it, my opinion is, as just in the United States, because what's going on in this country and what's going on around the world affect us in this country all the way down to our little neighborhood. I was at the store earlier today, and when everybody talk about food prices going up, your little orange leader, Taco Man, he would always bring up when somebody said something about food, eggs are going down. Well, I was in the store today and eggs went up
Asshole.
50 cents. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, now even eggs is catching up with this idiot." But how do we fit? How do we see? How do we deal with? And usually we talk about problems with the internal man in this country, but this is also affecting us internally and in our relationship and how we seen and how are we seen by the world and other countries, and how do we see how they're looking at us, because they're looking at the United States like Otako just got back from China, and China see us all grouped in as one. Most of the world see us all grouped in as one. All right. Well, we're not all grouped in as one. But when we let this man get away with what he wants to get away with, it looks as though we are grouped in as one with him because he's getting away with it. So, hey, spill the beans, bro. What's on your mind? Hit me up. Anthony has said a mouthful, and we're going to move on to the next subject. Go on, man. I'm messing with you. Go on.
I know it wouldn't be you if you didn't. But I was thinking about something you said, and this thought ran across my head. This is just not a black thing, but this is
Mm-hmm.
something that we've been fighting ever since we've been in this country. I'm gonna say it even affects poor white. You know, I mean, even
Mm-hmm.
though some of them might not want to own the fact that,
Yeah.
the condition of this country is effed up, some of them don't want to own up to the fact that, Taco Man is just actually screwing everybody. And he don't
Mm-hmm.
care who you are. If you ain't the 1%, he might give you a little love, might give you a little love. But other than
Mm-hmm.
that, everybody getting screwed in this process. You was talking about going to the store and seeing the price of food go up. The crazy thing about it, this dude don't even make a good liar. Cause he'll sit there and tell you, I mean, we everyday people, we get up, we do what we gotta do, we live, we struggle, but we survive.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the store, we actually see the prices going up. We see the prices of gas going up. So
Mm-hmm.
when he get on television or anywhere and talking about price of eggs is coming down, you know, the first thought comes to my mind, turn that fucking television off. Why do I want
Mm-hmm.
to listen to a liar? And
Mm-hmm.
then you don't make sense when you lie. You lie and it just make you look stupider than what you really are, you know. But I was reading the news and there was I think it had something well, it had to do with Germany. The Chancellor of Germany, I can't remember what his name is. So he said that United States look like ridiculous in this war. Probably didn't use the word ridiculous, but he didn't give a good review of it. He said it looked bad
In relation to the
over in this
war.
war. Right, right.
Yeah. Okay.
You know when you don't say something, when you don't suck up to Taco Man, now he's gonna come after you, say something stupid, whatnot. And he already mad at the Europeans because they chose not to. They sat on the sideline, and he
Mm-hmm.
got out there. This war reminds me of somebody in a fight, and the whole part of their ass or their pants is burned off. And that's just what this looked like. Is we out there trying to fight a war and we giving it all these bullshit excuses and threats, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and ain't going on none of it, you know. And it's like, you sitting on the sideline and you said to your boy, man, why homie don't just get this shit up? Because
Mm-hmm.
this don't look right. You ain't winning, you know, but he is so caught up in past history of what the United States used to be.
Mm-hmm.
He's in this delusional state that he can do whatever he wants to. Now here in the United States, he's actually doing whatever he wants to because he has a bunch of cronies behind him that co-sign all his bullshit that he do. But once you leave the United States, they not falling for that shit, and it's obvious. I know we can see it, and we just everyday people, so I know we can see it. You can imagine what other nations see.
Right.
So
Right.
we do have some issues of how we survive. I would say like we always been. Do what we need to do to survive because this ain't our shit. I mean, we in this country, so certain parts of it we gotta take. But we know he created this shit, and then what he do? Like I said, he just lie, lie, lie. So anything come out his mouth is subject to suspicion.
Yeah. Well, the sad part about it is, and it's our fault. And the reason I'm going to I'm including the United States
Okay,
because
as a whole.
as a whole, it's our fault. It's like if you got a bad child, you can't blame it on either the father or the mother. And then you got two parents at home allowing this shit to happen. Yeah,
True.
it's y'all fault. Y'all got to deal with it. It's y'all fault. All right. You can't have a kid that's a bully and you protect him, you
No.
know. So this man got voted in a second time. Everything about him has been a lie from the first time around to the second time around. All right. And he's still fighting to say that he didn't lose back in 2020 and he lost his ass back in 2020. And he won't accept it. And I don't know why people, why don't they just say, shut the fuck up? That day is
And move
gone
forward.
and move forward. Now, one of the things I'm going to argue with you a little bit about is he think about the United States in the past. What he's thinking about the United States in the past is what they thought the reputation was. It's like this. When they
Agree with
say
you.
we go back to the good old days, who was the good old days for? It sure weren't for the black folks. All
Damn sure
right.
wasn't.
So what are you talking about? We're going back to the 50s when everything was simple. Yeah, it was simple. You stuck it in our behinds. That's how simple it was. So was it the good old days for us? Oh, hell no. And that's
Yeah.
what he wants to go back to. And those were good old days. Now,
For who?
for him, for the white folks, especially the rich, because the poor folks got shitted on too. Poor white
My
folks
point
got to wake
exactly.
up. And I agree with you on that. They got to wake up and say, wait a minute, if we screw them, who's next in line to be screwed? They are.
But the
But you're
crazy thing,
not. But see, here's the thing. You're not next in line to be screwed. You're being screwed
you're
with
right in
us.
line.
Yeah. He right in
That's what I'm
line.
saying.
All right.
Shit.
So don't act like, oh, I'm okay.
He
No,
gonna
you're
spare
not.
us because we white.
You're gonna spare us. And that's why a lot of them got a little pissed off because they said, well, he's supposed to be doing this shit to them. In other words, they supposed to have the black stores, the minority stores already sectioned out for high prices, but not the white stores.
Right. Yeah, you're
A
correct
store
about
is a
that.
store. Everything's going up, if you like it or not. We've always said at times when you go into the city, most of the people, when they want to buy their gas cheaper, they go out to the burbs. They get away from the inner city because it's always high. But another thing I know, you go down into the rich white areas. If in Atlanta, they said Peachtree. You get gas on Peachtree, all right, when gas was $2.50, you was paying $3.20. Now you paying damn near $6. You paying over damn near $5, I mean, here in Atlanta, if you got to deal with, like right now, I'm paying the cheapest I could get was $4.19. All right. Now, that sounds good, but you got to understand, I'm down here in the South where it's supposed to be cheaper, right? But in Georgia, what they did was the average gas price right now, let's say, is running about 4.30. Okay.
Hmm.
But they put on hold the gas tax, which is supposed to go back on either within a week or 2 weeks, depending upon what the governor do. All right. So when they add that gas tax, the gas tax is 32 cents. That's a lot of damn money a gallon. So now you paying 4.30 a gallon. You throw 32 cents on top of that puppy, you're talking about 4.62 a gallon. But if you're in the inner city and you're already paying 4.60, you throw 32 on top of that, you damn near $5. And this is even
Yeah,
in the neighborhood where they got the rich, good old white folks, you know?
that's so true. Because up here where I'm at in Southern California, I'm in the high desert. The gas is just about $6. So if you go down to LA, you're paying $7
Mm-hmm.
for gas.
Mm-hmm.
And and to your point, you're correct that in affluent neighborhood, the rich neighborhood, the gas is seven and more,
But let me ask you, do they have gas stations in Beverly Hills?
right outside of not in the city, but right outside of the city of Beverly Hills.
Okay, so you think them white folks down there, when they go for rich white folks go, or rich people, period, go down there to get their gas, you think they're going to be paying the price you paying up in the mountains?
Hell no,
You damn right they ain't.
hell no.
So that's why when these people think that he's screwing us, no, he's screwing
He's screwing
everybody.
everybody, everybody.
Because when he was leaving for China, he even said this on the airplane, and the Democrats better use this every freaking day up to the midterm when he said, no, I don't think about pricing. I don't think about nothing. I don't think about none of that, the prices, all that. Only thing I care about is that Iran doesn't get any nukes. Shit, you the one that got him close to getting nukes.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
these news people, they don't call them out on it because he'll jump down their throat. And eventually somebody's got to say, Mr. President, what you said is not true. It's a lie. He go, well, who you with? You come from that of no good. You that
Fake
fake news.
news.
Y'all fake news. And one day somebody just stand up and say, no, you just a fake ass president. You a fat motherfucker, old looking cocksucking. You
Man,
know what I'm saying? Just
man,
go off.
I would love to
Just
hear that.
go
I would
off.
love
You
somebody,
know?
snap back at him. Now, it was last week. Sometime he had a press conference and he was talking. He was a sister, black sister was interviewing him, and
Yeah.
he said something stupid. And she went back at him, and he couldn't deal with it.
No, no.
That's the
He can't
crazy part
handle
of it.
that.
The mentality that he has. He is
Yeah.
really childish,
Right.
immature, where
Right.
you can't have a conversation with somebody and they disagree with you. And if they disagree with you, you automatically get some feelings behind it. That sounds like kid shit.
That's what I'm saying.
And
We
excuse my
like
expression,
bad parents.
This Negro is the president, so-called the president of the United States.
He's and if you notice, and the reason he has a hard time getting anything from like Putin and Xi
They don't
Jinping
respect
in
him.
China, you know what? You've got to look at visuals are important. Body language is important. I always tell people if you know anything, you know at least two languages. And they said, what do you mean? All I know is English. Well, you know English and you should know body language. All right. And if you look at that, when he's side by side, I'm just going to take Xi up in China, Xi Jinping, G. Well, anyway, I think he and I are on first name basis now. I call him G, and he said, what the fuck's your name is? But anyway, when you see him, he's sitting up in his chair straight. All right. Trump is bent over like he's taking a dump. He
Yeah,
looks like a
his hands
kid
in
in
his
the
lap.
chair in his lap. He looks like a kid out of place. He should not be with the big boys. And I'm gonna tell you this: they don't talk about it in the news like they should. But I bet you bottom dollar, brother, that the Xi's people are saying, now you see how he looked like a little baby? You could talk shit to him. He ain't gonna say nothing.
Listen,
All right?
I'm gonna have to repeat this again. Me and you are everyday people.
Yeah.
We struggle, but we survive. We have peace of mind, even though we got to live through this insanity. We
Right.
see this, and we
Hmm.
don't see him up front. We see pictures of him. We hear him talking. Now, this is our opinion. Now, these people, he go to their country and they lead their states. I know they know this shit. That's the crazy part about it.
Too.
You know something? What's crazy is that, now when you go somewhere, say you're going down to Florida, go meet an old friend, and they got some friends and some people down there. So you go down there. Now, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. You go down there, you meet them, and some of them, you know, got a little bit of money and they're doing some other thing. But regardless of whatever they got, you're going to carry yourself in a dignified way
Right.
where you're gonna give them respect and you want respect back in return. So
Yeah.
you going this is not in his nature. I
Mm-mm.
mean, I can't understand it. And all those people that supporting him, they should line him up and shoot him in the head because none of them are tearing nothing to him, man. Hey, am I wrong about that? When you go somewhere, you maintain some dignity.
You carry yourself like you the man because you have the position of the man.
That's all
He
I'm
is
saying.
supposed to
That's
be the
all I'm saying.
man, and I get sick and tired of they saying the most powerful man in the world. He don't act like he powerful. He act like a bully, and bullies are
No,
insecure.
thank you. Thank you. And this is the crazy part about it. They done bought up all the news stations. Nobody said in the news, nobody said anything objective to what he's saying. they co-sign and stuff, or they sugarcoat it. I ain't gonna say everybody, because you got some people calling him on his shit, but you don't hear that they're not on the mainstream of media. So, his word is gonna be out there first. This is the ridiculous. And
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I know other countries saying, this a bunch of ass. Now, granted, some other countries run the same way. They got asshole as leaders and they do stupid shit.
right.
And we see it. So I know
Yeah,
they say that about their leaders. It's the same thing here. You got to carry yourself. I don't care where you are, from the president's office to the person on the corner. You got to have some
mhm.
dignity with yourself. And listen, that comes with being honest. These two things you're supposed to see. You see the world, but you also got to look at yourself. I don't know what he see.
Well, he
You know,
sees only himself, and the bad part about it, there's no one
a
around
poor
him.
version of himself. A poor version of
Yeah,
himself.
but in his head, he's that, at his golf club down in Florida, Doral or whatever, he's got a 22-foot golden statue of
Statue.
himself. Have you seen that? Well, we'll get into that another time a little bit deeper. But no one around them has the guts to tell, the story of the emperor who has no clothes, right? Everybody around him, the clothes maker, the weaver, wasn't weaving anything, but he was acting like he was giving clothes to, man, you look fantastic. And none of the people around the emperor would tell him, hey, ain't nothing there. All right. But they would say, oh, yeah, it looks fantastic. That's the same thing the people around him are doing. That's what Congress is doing. All right. And then he's going out into the emperor goes out into the street and he's riding around in this car. And this little peasant boy starts pointing at him and laughing at him. And he said, what you laughing at? He said, he ain't got no clothes on. We got it. We the peasant people. We saying, man, you look stupid. When he's sitting in that chair crouched over, the only thing, and if he was going back to the good old days, it looks like he's sitting on a dump in the bathroom. All he needed was a newspaper in his hand. But today,
You don't
he's
even need a
doing that
newspaper.
in the bathroom, and now he's using his phone. So that's why he's texting 4 to 6 hours every night, because he's sitting in the bathroom with his phone doing that crap all night long. And he's dumb. And he's bent over like that all the time doing that. The emperor has no clothes. The only thing we can hope on is that when he is in the bathroom, he knows how to wipe his behind and flush the toilet. Okay? The
Now,
man,
we might have some questions about that. We might have
well,
some
I know,
questions
I
about
know.
that.
Well, we're not going to debate that today, because I can tell you, he's the perfect example that not all rich people have class.
But you know something?
He
To
has
his
none.
defense, what we are seeing today is something that he has betrayed his whole life long. A wannabe. This is what he wanna be.
True,
I
true,
mean,
true,
listen,
true.
going back to the comment you made about the statue, what man that has money and power wanna
Mhm,
have a statue of himself all over the place, a picture of himself hanging up all over the city of DC, you know,
mhm,
his picture on the passport. For
mhm,
what is the purpose? Now, granted, I'll say this much. Ain't nothing wrong with that if you're actually doing something to earn it or deserve it.
mhm, mhm.
I don't see nothing wrong with it. But he ain't doing shit. You
Well,
know, that's
I mean, the airport down in Florida that named after him, people are kind of pissed off about it because, you have airports named after president. You've got Reagan National in what, DC? You've got
Kennedy, JFK,
Kennedy, JFK, right? But
Tom Bradley.
the
Forgot the
one they
president's
have
name.
down in Florida is named not the Trump airport. Trump International Airport. The name is the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump Airport. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know, he's like a dog leaves its scent wherever it goes. He's pisses on everything like a dog pisses on a fire hydrant, leaving his mark. And his smart, and it really stinks, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Okay, we need to function. Let's internalize it externally. I know that sounds a little crazy, but how do we
Yeah.
ourselves from the inside deal with this in relationship to the outside, our people itself? All right, how are we supposed to deal with this? Now, when I say internalize it, let's not look at it as though we're saying, I'm fine with it, I'm just going to leave it alone. Because we can't. He done
No.
dragged everybody into the mess. And there's a certain amount of anger and,
Frustration.
frustration. There are people. My thing is he has brought back the era of the 60s protest marches for civil rights.
You can
But
go back
it's
further than that.
gone. Well, I'm only going back to because certain people, a lot of the young people don't have memories of anything before that, but they do have a memory of Martin Luther King in that era somewhat. But the point I'm making is that I think it's beyond that. It's greater than that because it's more than just civil rights. It's constitutional
Human rights.
rights.
Yeah.
It was
Listen,
human rights, you're right.
they done
Human
shitted
rights
on the
and the
Constitution.
constitutional right. Huh? They
They done
shitting all
shitted on
on
the
it.
Constitution.
And
Yeah.
we're the ones, it's not the people who wrote it, it's the people who came to this country or who was forced to be brought to this country to say, we all live by the Constitution, but they don't. They got to be made to live by just as much as we are forced to live by. But
That's
we
true.
accepted it because in most places around the world, you can't get that type of constitution. You can't get that type of wording to show what freedom is. We have forgotten it, and I shouldn't say we, really blame the Republican Party and a lot of these people who follow him, all you white folks and black folks and Latinos, any some bitch that voted for this guy, male, female, dog, cat, I don't care if it's a frickin' polar bear. All of you that voted for him, you the one that put the dagger in everybody else's heart, and then you committed suicide yourself. It's like a guy who goes out there with a M15, shoots up a school, shoots up everything else, shoots up the street, then he kills himself. You know, you did the same thing to this society and the Constitution when you voted for this guy. You
Yeah.
destroyed it, and now you want to act like it's all right with you. But now you're going to pay for it, but you're not going to admit it, what you did, that you did wrong.
I was reading about the out Texas. They ran into a stumbling block. One of the judges said about the redistricting.
Uh-huh.
It says the High Court rejects removal of the Democratic lawmakers who quantum breaks all redistricting.
Yeah, in Texas?
Yeah.
But just now they did that? I mean, recently, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And
today.
and was this a Supreme Court of Texas or was this a lower court in Texas?
Lower court.
All right. Okay, well, let's see where that goes.
Yeah.
Let's see where that goes. That's going to be interesting.
And you know something? I was listening to I don't know, it wasn't Joy Reid, but it was somebody, and they was talking about the brother from Louisiana. This brother was saying the redistricting down in Louisiana, they're going to Memphis, that's where it was. They're going to redistrict that area, and it's largely blacks or people of color. And they're
Right.
going to set it up for Republicans. And I'm saying, he said, well, you know something, when they do something like that, you know, Now they go Republicans. It was maybe some of the areas where they was going to put the congressmen. They're going to put them in certain areas, but now and they're going to move up that area where in Memphis, the district was somewhere else. Where they put them was maybe like 85% white. Now it's not going to be like that because it was 85%. But now that you put all those blacks there, then that's going to have that majority white percentage start to fall down. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of interesting how that go because I hope all this shit fall flat. They fall flat on their face, but that's just my wishes. As long as they got John Roberts in the Supreme Court, this is a crazy
Hey,
time. But we have to be aware of what's going on and sit down and talk to people so we know what we have to do to keep our sanity in this crazy ass world that we live in, crazy ass United States that we live in. It really ain't nothing changed because what we're dealing with is been going on way before my time. My forefathers and whatnot, the things they had to deal with. And you just have a group of people that want to go back to that time because they feel inferior that other people are stepping up. People of color are stepping up, and they're not going to take that mentality that some of the rich white Southerners do. But something, it's majority down south. But my experience, prejudice is all over. No matter where people at, you're gonna find some prejudice. That's my experience. It ain't just down south. Down south is where it originated from. They wanted to be in control, and that mentality is something they they died to keep. People of color ain't gonna put up with that. I know black people ain't gonna put up with it, and some other people of colors they have to get to the point where they ain't gonna put up with that shit either. And that's just the way it is. You know, you can't make a statement that you're gonna make America great again. Well, it was only great for, well, I ain't gonna say great. It was only good for certain class of people. What it should have been is that I'm gonna make America great. We're gonna make this thing so we all can get a piece of the pie. But that's not the way they think. They think that I got it and I should keep it. I'm up here and you down here. That's the mentality that they have. Southerners have, and I hate to just say Southerners because it's not just the Southern state. Southern states are outspoken with theirs. You have other states that they hide behind that cloth, that niceness. That we're gonna do this and we're gonna help, but when they by themselves, nothing nothing matters but them. I guess that's one of the reasons why we could start doing the podcast is feel like we could just talk. I mean, like I said, this is like we talking being. This is not a therapy session, but it's just a place where we can have a conversation. You can vent how you feel and get some feedback from it. See, it's just like the barbershop. Nobody ruling anything. We're just having a conversation. So when you walk out the barbershop, you feel like you're well informed. You got some information, and that's all this is. Is making sure that you well aware of what's going on. This is Mended Men's Conversation. I'm Anthony Washington, and this is who? All right, people, we're gonna see you next week. We're out.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Mended Men's Conversation. If something we shared resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this episode with someone who needs it. Remember, healing is a journey, and you don't have to walk it alone. Stay connected with us, subscribe to the podcast, and join the conversation online. Until next time, keep growing, keep healing, and keep building your legacy.